And friend, in the problem of birth, decay, disease, and death, I know you are interested to study, to seek the Buddhist way, to give up all problem of life in the Buddhist way. I think I'll helping you as best as I can so that you can understand this topic. But I have to tell in advance that my English knowledge is not complete. It is childish English knowledge. That is, it is self-taught and self-learned. Then you have to think it, try to understand it carefully to know what I meant to say. We cannot have a teaching as in the classroom. It can be only a private conversation. You have heard that the Lord Buddha was enlightened concerning the Dhamma. We think of discussing on the Dhamma. The Dhamma that he enlightened was called the law of Ithappaccetta. It is a natural law, the law of nature. The law, in English, equivalent to Thai term "กฎ." Now we call it in Thai, กฎ Ithappaccetta. The term กฎ has its meaning more than that, the law. But we have to use the term law in English. This law is a supreme thing. It can be called God. The Lord Buddha enlightened the law. After that, he pay worship to the law suddenly. And he declared that all Buddha in the past, even in the future, all of them worship this law in the name of Dharma. This natural law is comprised of 6 qualifications, which all regard that they are qualification of God. That is to say, as the creator, the controller, the destroyer, omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. The one who has these 6 qualifications, we call him God. But we Buddhists have this natural law as a God, look at the law as a God, and who has in reality these 6 qualifications. It is only God that can be acceptable by scientists of modern time. It is a natural law that cannot be established by anyone. If there is anyone or anything who establish it, it is not a law, not a กฎ especially กฎ Ithappaccetta. This law is only one law, which all other law are included in it. All of them natural law, not man-made law. This law inheres in every atom, every atom, all together to compose our universe or universes, physically and mentally. We ought to know it as well as the thing that control us and control all problems of us. Human being be happy or not happy, it is because of doing wrong and doing right to this law, not by the power of personal God, even of the result of the past karma. It has to discuss another time. Peacefulness of the world will exist or not exist, it depends on this law, doing wrong or doing right. I'd like you to think of this, to estimate the power of the law. Supposing that even all personal God intended to punish us, we can give up all the power. We are free from punishment by doing right or in accordance with the law. Supposing that all personal God intend to bless us, but if we do wrong to this Itapattiyata law. To be happy, for instance, no way to receive the blessings of the gods. We can see that this law controls all things, governs all things, both animate and inanimate. But the problem can be arise appear only in animate thing. The law of Itapattiyata as a God. This God is undescribable, unclassifiable. We cannot know him as a person because he is not like anyone among all we know in this world. The Itapattiyata God is the first cause and sustaining cause every time and in every case in our universe. It creates both positive way and negative way. Have a reason as a negative and positive because it is only natural law. If he is a personal God, he will choose to create it only in a positive way. When we didn't want anything in negative part, we have to know the law of a positive part, and we can have the result as a positive. And by practice in accordance with the law, the way to practice to solve such a problem is called the Dhamma. The actual problem of human being is a problem of suffering, and is a problem of suffering of a human being in a society of them. Sentient beings have to suffer when doing wrong to Itapattiyata law in the moment of Phassa. I like you to note this especially as essence of the Dhamma, repeating it as all sentient beings have to suffer when doing wrong to the Itapattiyata law in the moment of Phassa. Sentient beings have not to suffer, will not to suffer when doing right and not doing wrong to this law, especially in the moment of Phassa, the contact. We have to discuss about it further on. I think that now we will discuss about this natural law in detail. It is ABC of Buddhist Dhamma. Now I will tell you about Itapattiyata Dhamma. Sometimes we call it Paticca Samuppada, the law of cause and effect, the origination of all things, dependent to their condition. Because speaking we say dependent origination of all things. But in the case we intend to discuss about only in the case of problem of human being, as sufferings or as dissatisfactoriness of any kind. To understand the Itapattiyata process, we have to start from the starting point, and that is the thing called ayatana. Ayatana means a thing concernable, and to be concerned and to concern anything else. Ayatana inside us, we call it sense organ. And that is to say, the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body surface, and the mind itself. And all these are inside us. The outer ayatana, that is the form or the sight, the sound, the smell, and the taste, and the touch, and the idea or thought for the mind. Now you can see yourself that the eye to contact with the sight, the ear to contact with the sound, the nose to contact with the smell, and the tongue to contact with the taste, the body surface to contact with the touch, and the idea to contact with the mind. And then we have a sixth pair of ayatana. Now, we study upon them. In the Itapatita process, begin as an example with the first pair in the eye and the form. The eye depends on the form, give rise to eye consciousness. Now we have three things: eye, form, and consciousness. And these three things coming together in function, we call the contact or phassa in Pali. The very important moment to know, to study the contact is the moment to raise ignorance or not. If it is the chance of raising of ignorance, it will go in bad way to raise the problem of suffering. In the moment of contact, we can have adequate mindfulness and wisdom to govern the contact, to be in the rightness. Then no way, no room, no chance for ignorance. Then it is the contact that cannot be the starting point of suffering. We have to practice, to train, to have a mindfulness and wisdom to use just in time of contact. But we will touch upon it later on. Now I will tell you further. If the phassa or the contact is an ignorant one, we will call it the blind contact or ignorant contact. Such a contact will give birth to blind feeling with ignorance, pleasant and unpleasant feeling. But having ignorant in it, we call it blind contact or ignorant contact. Such a contact will give birth to ignorant want or blind want. That is sure. We can call the blind want as a desire. In Pali, when we call it tanha, we meant blind want, ignorant want, or wrong want, not simply a want. You have to know this. And if you use the term desire, it means blind want, the want of ignorance, or the want by means of ignorance. And such want, blind want, will give birth to attachment, or upadana in Pali. Attachment from blind want or ignorant want. That is ignorant in itself, to attach anything and come into contact with it, attach it in this or that meaning, and finally attachment as that thing is mine or that thing is I. You have to know five kanta in Pali, also kanta in Sanskrit. Attached to five kanta. The first kanta is this body. When body is in its function, the ignorant mind attach it as I in some case and as mine in some case. And then we can see someone get angry with his body and regard it as he himself. And someone regard it as his body. In the first case, attached to the first kanta, the rupa kanta. In Pali we call it rupa kanta, aggregate of the reality. The second kanta, the feeling. When we have a feeling of any kind in the mind, in the ignorant mind, regard it or attach it as I who feel. But in other case, it regard it as my feeling. Be regarded as I or as mine. It is the same attachment. The third kanta, called the sanya, perception, perceive something as these, as better as those, such as my happiness, my suffering. Perceive it as good as bad. The perception of the mind was attached to be the I who perceive in some case. The perception in other case is being attached as my perception. You can understand this, that's the same thing. can be attached to in two ways, as the doer and the done. Now the fourth attachment, the fourth kanta or attachment, the fourth called sankhara kanta. Sankhara in this case is special meaning. Literally it means to form, but now in form or to form in mental way. That is to think. Sankhara means to condition, to rest, or to cause. Now we meant to think, because to think is to rest and to cause. And the conception now taking place in the mind of the ignorant one. The one that touch it as I think. In another case, he attached as my thought. You notice this, consider this by yourself, and it is go into way as such. Now to the last kanta, the fifth, vijnana kanta. Consciousness, aggregate of consciousness, to know all things that come to be in contact with eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind itself. The ignorant one will attach consciousness, the body of the consciousness, as I who make the consciousness, and another time attach as my consciousness into where then. Now, five consciousness, or five attachment we have. You can see that can attach many things, outside and inside, attaching it, grasping at it, mentally, as I, or as my ignorant concept, not a real thing, not in reality of the thing, but by means of ignorant, the conception arises in such a way, as I or as my in anything, in the case. Attachment now taking place in the process of itapattata. Such attachment gives birth or gives rise to existence or power in Pali, the existence of something, noun of the elusive self, existence of the self from attachment. Attachment on elusive thing, why elusive not and can have elusive existence or power. Now that exists of self, even in infancy stage. We call it power or existence. The existence gives birth, gives rise to birth or chadi in Pali. Now that self is full bloom as a self, a proper self to the case, proper to the case, suitable to the case, to be one man, one self. Now there is the self, the supposing thing as self, or in a way as I. Now elusive I take place in the process of itapattata. And the I think and do or speak in the way of attachment, and then that I begin to do, to think, to speak in ignorant way, such as, and it is I, it is my process, even it is my birth, it is my decay, and it is my disease, this is my death, for instance. All things come to be a problem of such a self. Give problem, giving problem to the mind, for the mind to suffer, and to have suffering, to have dissatisfactoriness of any kind in any case. This is itapattata in the way or process to raise problem of suffering to the mind, in reality to the mind, but as we say, to the man. Now if we have adequate mindfulness and wisdom, we can have mindfulness and wisdom adequately just in time of the contact. We will repeat the process from the very beginning. Again, the eye depends to the form, give birth to eye consciousness, the three things coming together in function. The function becoming called hassa or contact. Now in this case, the man having adequate mindfulness and wisdom just in time of contact or hassa. They can use mindfulness and wisdom to govern the contact, not to be ignorant to contact, but will be wise contact. Such a wise contact will not give birth to blind feeling, but wise feeling as the cause. That is a wise contact give birth to wise feeling. Wise feeling cannot give birth to blind want, but to wise want, or want with wisdom. Differentiate from the first case of ignorant contact. Now, wise contact, awakened contact, give birth to wise feeling, pleasant and unpleasant, but wise feeling. The feeling with wisdom by means of mindfulness. Such a feeling cannot raise a blind want or desire, but give birth to wise want, which cannot be called desire. And then we have wise want. The wise want cannot give birth to attachment. Then no attachment for the elusive concept of I or my. Then no existence for the self. Then no birth of the self. No self. That is no I, which will be as no mind. And then no thing to come to contact with the I, because without I, then no problem of the mind. Very high problem. Now, Itapatyata, in the process of no problem of not able to give the problem to the light. Now you can see two way or two kind of Itapatyata. The first runs by ignorance, ending with problem of suffering. The second runs by means of mindfulness and wisdom, ending all problem, ending of all problem. This is the law, the natural law, not a law established by anyone. The law is a thing in itself. We have to know this, such as the Lord Buddha enlightened it, enlightened concerning it. We know it as a supreme Dharma. We pay worship to them, to it, at the time of enlightenment. We have this Dhamma, the law of Itapatyata as a supreme being, can be called Buddhist God, but not personal God. It is him or non-personal God. I like you to know this. It is the way, Buddhist way, to be emancipated from all problems. And now I like you to remind to what I have said, that this is the ABC of Buddhist Dhamma. Everyone have to start the studying or the practice on the Buddha Dhamma upon this thing. We call it ABC of Dhamma. That is from the eye, from the ear, nose, tongue, body, mind of yourself, in daily life when they are in function of seeing, smelling, of seeing, of listening, of smelling, of tasting, of touching, and of thinking. Not from a book, but from the actual thing. The body as an organ of the body to contact out the thing around the body. In daily life, you have your eye, your nose, your tongue. In what way you know their function or not? You have to study from such an actual thing. If you want to study Buddha Dhamma, to know Buddha Dhamma, you have to begin your study upon these things, the so-called ABC of Buddhism. Not to begin your study from big, immense system of Indian philosophy before Buddhism as such, useless to do such a thing. I want you, I'd like you to study Buddha Dhamma by starting your study from these 6 pair of ayatana, 6 sense organ and 6 sense object. When they are in their function in your daily life, not from the book, not from a sermon, not from a preaching, useless to do that if you want to get at the heart of Dhamma.